All right, welcome to part number 3 of the 2025 preseason podcast. Getting it all done here in chunks. I'm back with JR. Welcome, welcome.
Definitely. Strategically did this, just to give the Sapphire a whole night of attention.
Best for last.
So when you asked me if I wanted to continue the last one, I was like, nah, let's give the Sapphire an entire night of attention. And I do want to talk a little bit about the league as well for anybody who tunes in from outside the Sapphire. We don't want to just make this. Well, I don't want to make it. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't want to make it just a Sapphire thing.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, let's finish off the Sapphire, give their teams the attention they deserve, and then I'm happy to talk just a little more in general, for sure. Yeah.
I think you muted.
Oh, you can't hear me? Test, test. Hello? I don't think I'm muted. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Yep, sorry.
There we go. I was messaging you. I was like, hold on. I definitely saw the mute thing on. So.
But, no, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so, dead air is not a problem because.
No,
like
sounds
said,
good.
we can talk about the Fire Conference a little bit too.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's finish off the Sapphire here, and then we can just kind of talk more holistically about the league at the end, for sure.
Yes.
So. Let's pop right onto the standings page. Of course, we're a little ways in now. We're 2 months in. So some things have happened. I think the Sapphire is an interesting division right now. A lot of powerful teams, some up-and-coming teams, some deep systems. But let's start off in Somerville and with your squad. I'm going to let you kind of take the reins for a minute.
Well, yeah, it's just another year with the same kind of group of guys. The only differences here between my teams, I think I've gone to the playoffs in the last 13 years, is it? I don't know. But this team has a different type of high-end, top-end player. And I think I got a couple guys in their prime that are really ready to tear up the league for the next 5+ years. And
and just to introduce you a little better, you are an OG GM here. You've been here since the beginning. 19 playoff appearances, since you just pointed out your streak's at 13 right now. You said I think that's the biggest number we've seen, 19 in 24 years. I'm pretty sure maybe you're the record holder.
I think 19 is the most appearances. I don't like that statistic.
Well, it's a rough statistic because the champion column is
like a
empty.
Horrible thing. It's like 19 playoff appearances.
For sure. For sure. But I don't think we've seen anybody with more than 17, maybe 18. So you've been close a couple times. Let's take a look at the league history page. Obviously, your name pops up here in the champion column a couple times, just not with the blue, unfortunately. So 2007, 2009.
That's a great way to say it. I love that. Just without the blue.
You were the conference champion, so in 2020. So over a long period of time, you've been pretty successful.
So 3 pennants. Those are a thing back in the 50s. Whatever. So we hang those pennants up. We got 3 banners that we throw up there of teams that the Moneyline fans loved, but they came up short, and we didn't get blown out in any of those series. I just think that we caught fire and had a good tournament team at the right time, and hopefully this is another iteration of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anything, getting more to the present, coming off your last season, it was probably your most dominant season, without question it was. Your third 100-win season, but 111-51 is, up there with some of the best seasons we've seen in the regular season. But as many of those 110-win teams in TBL history have seen, winning that championship isn't always easy. And we can look at some of these, honestly, Las Vegas comes to mind. 110 wins here. They actually did do it, that 117-win season looks like, but I'm just proving myself wrong instantly. But Denver, for example, 111 wins.
That's an insane amount of wins. That's an insane amount of wins.
117, yeah. So
I think Huron
Yes, yeah, probably
Huron's got the like three biggest win
114.
totals in
Yeah,
that
112 and didn't win it.
conference.
115 and didn't win it. Yeah, good example there.
Yeah,
Um,
and a lot of that's league conditions. Somebody mentioned in the chat today that the bottom of the conferences of our conference of the ice is poor, and I think the bottom of both conferences have gone a little bit lower in terms of the talent gap between the top of the conference because of the inaugural draft and the way that the new talent has kind of been spread around the league. I think that the top teams have been doing a good job of cultivating talent, and it's made a big difference in 25 years.
yeah, there's been some guys here, like yourself, Steve, who've been here a long time, Jay, and they've been Ryan. They've been successful for a long time, but we've had some new GMs come in that have kind of made their mark and shifted things around. But there's definitely GMs that are pretty familiar with the game and the mechanics, and then there's GMs that are piecemealing teams together from year to year, and that's okay as long as people are having a good experience.
Exactly.
That's what makes a good league. Hopefully,
Exactly.
hopefully those GMs that aren't being successful right now, find that plan and find that path forward. But yeah, let's take a look at your team. You just mentioned Reyna. I think that's who you're getting to until I interrupted you with a
No, that's
introduction.
Fine.
But
He's a, he's the what's it, 3-time reigning MVP.
Four-time.
He's got 4
reigning.
MVPs total.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last 3 in a row.
Yep.
And yep. So
Man of the decade for sure.
He's awesome. He is a guy who plays every day. I shouldn't say that. Anyways, he's durable, kinda. And I enjoy having a guy like him he's an easy player to have in the lineup. Defensively, base running, you don't have to take him out of the lineup for any reason. And he's a great personality as well. So he's the total package as far as a superstar is concerned. I gave up 6 draft picks, the top 3 picks of 2 drafts to get him, and some other prospects, and it was worth every penny. So I liked Reyna. I think he really also helped the other guy on my team, Posey, become the player that he is as well.
Yeah, for sure. I liked this trade for both sides. Again, I think I told you in the other podcast we did, but I hate inter-division trades, so I didn't like that. But that's just a personal preference. But we'll get to Kevin. I do think he got a good return for Reyna. I was just gonna say he's made a lot of trades. I've liked some of them, and I've disliked some of them. So it's kind of been on both ends of the coin.
Yeah, and I wanted to give him enough. A lot of the thing about trading for me is that I like it when both teams make out. So, I don't like it when I kind of like it when I totally wipe out the other GM in a trade, whatever. But that GM's not going to trade with me again, and there's a lot of guys I could trade with where we could both get better, and we can make things happen. And I give it to Kevin for making the trade of Reyna. He also traded Travis Eaton. So these guys are the real deal.
Yeah, he's traded more than that too. I feel like, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's traded a bunch of big pieces. Did he trade Nick Henson, or am I thinking like a long time ago?
No, I think he traded Nick Henson to Denver. I think that was his deal as well, which was it's a great trade.
Yeah. Yep. Toronto had some killer pieces there. It's pretty insane to think about all the pieces that have come out of that system.
Yeah. A lot of high picks. I actually have 2 of his. That franchise has 2 first overall picks, and they both will possibly go to the Hall of Fame with me on my team. And Ryan Roach, who is injured but is a TBL Hall of Famer, should be first ballot. I don't know, whatever. But it's something where that he's played his whole career with us. We're trying to take him behind the bar.
He's got 81 career WAR.
Whatever, but at the same time, he was better with the New York Empire / Toronto team, and he but he spent a long time with us. Same thing we're trying to do with Reyna. We don't pick high. We have no chance of picking high. So I have to go get those guys later in their career, and usually I try to hit them in their prime, get them when they have 5 years. They're locked up. I don't have to worry about re-signing them, and that's it. So that's the same plan I got with Roach. Is the same plan I got with Reyna, and Toronto slash New York has made out with those picks I've given them on the first one. I think one of those actually turned into Travis Eaton, and there's a couple other players they had, but it was worth it for me. It was worth it to just keep the team competitive and have a chance every year at least.
Yeah. Yep. No, you've been good to maintain a consistently competitive club. And as we recall, I wouldn't say I hated on your team early in the 2000s or 2010s, but I never believed in your team.
Did. First off, I know you don't like the logo. I don't like the logo.
Oh no, it's not that. No, I just never believed in your squad. I never understood how you were winning.
That's fine. I mean,
we had the joke that you used to make it every other season. That was actually a running joke for like 10 years, that you would have a team that was playoff worthy and then you would just fall off, and then somehow you turn that into a consistent 13-year run. So
exactly. Not to toot my own horn, but at the same time, our first season, the inaugural draft, we had the lowest budget in the league and made the playoffs. So that was a big thing. We dumped stuff in, a lot of money into our budgets and coaching, and we really tried to make it so that there was a good system that will make it fun for me to log in every day. Basically, I won't do well with rebuilding if I ever have to rebuild. But the other thing is, we also have the lowest ERA in TBL history. There's a few teams. I think New Orleans and Vegas are another couple teams here on that are amongst the best pitching organizations in the league, and defense as well, and that's us. So there's nobody that has a better ERA. There's nobody. We're probably the best historic fielding team in the history of the league. So that's what we do, and now we're trying to add star power and eventually, get over the top and get a championship.
Yep, makes sense. And you do have some really, again, nice pieces. Chase Posey is a ridiculous steal right now. He's leading the league in WAR this year. Had a great season last year, put up 7 WAR. He's on pace for 12.8 WAR. That's pretty good, I think. I don't know if he'll maintain that, but also the contract you have him on is ridiculous. I know it's his early, he's in year 2 or so. But it was smart. You got him locked up at the back end of that for nothing.
I signed him after his rookie year, or I guess it's rookie year. Yeah, I think it was his rookie year, which is basically where I had, he had a good WAR, but he didn't hit over 300. But his track record was so good that I had to sign him. He's a guy who tore up the minors, and I just had. I couldn't keep him down. I love to keep guys on certain levels. This is a guy that went through, and there's one year he hit like 4 levels, and it was obvious that he was going to be a star. I don't know star, but now he just destroys the right-handed pitching. He destroys it. Somehow he's starting to even hit better against left-handed pitching, and he steals a ton of bases. I have to slow him down a bit from stealing bases. And he plays 3 positions very, very well. The secret sauce of my team is the fact that he DHs half the time and Reyna DHs half the time. So, but when they're in the field, they're actually elite at their positions when they are in the field. So that's the whole thing with Reyna. Posey hits in front of Reyna. He'll always hit in front of Reyna as long as I can pay both of them.
Yeah, and he's a captain, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, I got 2 captains. Got 2 captains on the field.
Back end of your bullpen looks like, just curious why you have Alvarez over Snyder.
Because I don't want Snyder asking to become the actual closer. Closing is not a thing that I really care about, like getting saves.
Sure.
The funny thing about Snyder is that he doesn't expect to be the closer. He just likes being the setup man, and I'm not going to move him off of that. And it's something where Alvarez came to Somerville. I gave him the closer promise. He signed right away. No deal with it whatsoever. But I'm comfortable with him as my closer because he's reverse split. He's better against righties and lefties. Same thing for Snyder. I think most of my bullpen are guys where they're better. They're reverse split. I mean, that's almost like a requirement to be in my bullpen. The one guy that I like the best of my bullpen guys coming up is Ezequiel Acevedo. Ezequiel Acevedo is the only. He. I think he's got a Roldis Chapman in another galaxy type upside as well as bars, except for the slider. But I like the back end stuff. I like having nasty guys on the back end.
Yeah, I've got him at 30 control.
Yeah.
But with that kind of stuff and fastball changeup, I guess it makes sense.
Well, I mentioned being number one in TBL history in what was it, ERA, and the other thing is that I'm number one in walks allowed. I don't the walk to me is just it's sometimes better than the ball in play. It just really is, and it's weighted that way when you talk about WOBA, whatever it may be. But the walk's nice to get to first base, but the ball in play could lead up to 4 bases. So I don't, I'm a big guy about being able to strike out players, and the walk is, sometimes can mitigate some things.
Yeah. Well, I will say you've got the number one budget in the TBL. I think you're the first person to crack 224 million. You've got 226. You got a super popular.
Nah, I think somebody's been at 230 or.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah,
it's hard to get up there. You have to really do the math. Last year, just looking at your attendance this year is a little down, but you sold out every game but one last year. So you almost maxed out, because our revenue is set at a capped. You can only make as much as you can make. You're pretty close to the maximum.
That's huge for me. In order to run the system, I just have to have cash.
That's what I was going to say. You've got a lot invested, so you kind of are operating like a big money team right now, and you are a big money team, to be honest. So you've established yourself to be that way. Little Somerville.
Well, it was the first year was the lowest budget, but every year after that was over 200. So, I think I'm big on. I was big on personnel. I was big on a lot of IAFA stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's cost control. This is going to be my team next year. We can just run this back next year. This is going to be the team next year. So, yeah, it's
for a few years, maybe, right? I mean, you got 170 million locked up.
Yeah, all these guys are coming back.
The only guy you're dropping is Sonneville and maybe Davis here in a couple of years.
Yeah, Davis is a decision that we have to make, but I'm
second
not worried
base,
about it.
Yeah.
And guys don't really try to crack me for like 30 million.
Yep.
They really don't. So, he might sign cheap. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
You've got the team options going on, so flexibility on the back end. Not the deepest system, but I'm sure you have some gems in here. Maybe you want to highlight, or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because I was actually looking at this in comparison to the way we talk about other teams, and there's some guys that I like that are not within whatever the top 500 or whatever you want to call it on this list. So
Roger Butt.
I'll point one.
Roger Butt.
No.
OSA loves him. Sorry, I didn't look at my scout.
Jose Lopez, I guess he's inside now the top 500. I think Jose Lopez can be a star if I played him every day at third base or second base. But he's number 485, for instance. I have another guy that's way down the list who he hasn't really hit yet, but Javier Segura, center fielder. He could steal 5 billion bases if he starts hitting and eventually earns his way to the show. So there's a bunch of guys that I like on this list that that aren't really cracking any top lists anywhere else.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure every system has some guys like that if you
everyone
dig
does.
deep enough. But of course, you know your team pretty well. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this season, about past seasons, about your team before we...
just try to stay healthy and finally win one of these things.
Nelson Reyes, most games played ever. Not the name I would have come up with.
Not at all. Sonneville's probably been a better. It's funny. Sonneville has better career numbers than Marksberry. Marksberry was just, he'd just be able to throw a no hitter every time out. But Sonneville's been really a franchise cornerstone. Hall of very good.
Yeah. Not going to be
guy.
in, but
yeah, but I mean, if he gets 3,000 Ks somehow, some way, probably won't be with me. Then I guess you can talk about it. But he's got another like 200K, 180. He's got another whole season in the postseason. So he's one of those guys where, he probably has a whole another 180 innings in the postseason or something, like 176 innings there. Yeah. So he's really.
It's too bad that doesn't show up on the resumes in this game, because that's a good point.
Yeah. So when you add that together, the guy is at like 2,500 Ks, and he's got a good amount of wins. I mean, he's just it's all very good. It's a guy that I don't really try to tax either, so he's not going to ever make All-Star games unless he's on fire. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's take a look at second place team last year. Who was that? Who finished behind you?
I think it was Steve or Carolina. I can't remember. We can do either. It doesn't matter. Got a lot to say about both.
Steve was third, so let's go. It was Carolina. Carolina was 92-70 last year. The former Boston Boom franchise, now in Carolina, and they are a pitiful franchise indeed. So I was really happy to see Mike able to turn them around last year, at least for 1 year. Let's see if he can sustain it this year. But what are your thoughts on Carolina?
I like them. I think they're going through a sophomore jinx. I always thought this would happen.
Yes, it does for a lot of teams. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's real in baseball, though. Sophomore jinx is real in baseball. Guys like Paul Hassett and Trevor Jordan are for real, but at the same time, they're young, and it's all about ups and downs. Sometimes you don't know about a guy until they get 1,200, 1,500 plate appearances, or how many ever, whatever innings. And, these guys are going to go through it. There's going to be valleys, peaks and valleys, right? So you're seeing that with these guys right now. And I think that he's got really good high-end talent, or I should say high-end prospects turning, they could be high-end talent. And, it's a great team. I'm not going to bring up the one thing that kind of is when we get to New York, we'll talk about the one guy they traded away that would make this team that is one of the best young teams in the league. They're just like, the one ace is not there.
The thing that's super scary with Carolina, though, still is they've got a ton of top talent. They've got 9 guys in the top 100. I know you said top 500 isn't everything, but those top guys usually pan out pretty well. Not always, but they've got a lot of talent here in their system on the top end, and some of these guys could turn into superstar level additions. On top of the fact that they've already arrived with some of these guys that are young, and again, this is the most challenging franchise in the TBL because of the history. He's got a below average market size. This was a terrible fan loyalty that I just boosted. We talked about that the other day. $55 million payroll right now, and he's paying Baranu, which was a great signing for this franchise, I think.
Yep.
$20 million. So outside of that, nobody here is making anything.
No.
So it's super impressive.
He jumped into the league with the same rapport with other general managers and people in the chat as like Steve. I mean, not Steve. I'm sorry. Steve has no rapport with anybody. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Jay. Like Jay, he got deals done like Jay. And like Jay, I should say. And he moved guys for picks and
high picks. He got a ton of first round picks his first few seasons here. He had 4 first round picks in his first draft.
Stuff that was crazy. I was like, you really got that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree.
He did that, and that's where You're seeing it. You're seeing it in his pipeline. The pipeline's insane. That thing, he says he got 30 top 500 guys. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
You only can put 28 guys on a roster, so the future must be bright. I don't, I gotta look out for him. But it's you gotta you gotta see if he retains his talent and how he builds going forward. It's a very small payroll, very small budget as well.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of trying to. We're just about to find out what Mike's real strategy and approach is. He's done exactly what he's had to do for this franchise. He's, pulled in those assets, and now it's about how is he going to build a team and make it a top team. Did you say Paul Hassett is one of your favorite guys here?
I like I do like Paul Hassett because I think we were speaking during the playoffs, and I wanted to see what Paul Hassett did.
He's off to a crazy bad start right now, and OSA hates him.
Yeah.
My scout loves him, but
this is the peaks and valleys again. So he had a ridiculous year, the rookie year, and now, it's crazy how bad of a year he's actually having right now. It's almost to the point where you may want to consider a role change or something. I don't know. You can't really send. I don't know if you need to send them down, but the walks are crazy with him. He's there's certain stats. There's like leverage stats and OTP. He's taking on a lot of the high leverage situations for this team, and maybe somebody else needs to share it with him.
if you look, Mike just mentioned he lost 3 straight games, or he got swept by New Orleans maybe. Paul Hassett had 3 losses in that series. That's brutal. And had a blown save against Tampa right before that. So he's just on a super cold kind of streak right now. So maybe he does turn it around.
Yeah, he took the decisions in every single one of those games.
That's crazy.
Which, that's bad. And
but at the same time, you got a 23-25 Carolina team who just lost 3 close games on the road to New Orleans, who's won 21 of the last 23 games. So that's, I don't know. It's all how you frame it,
exactly.
I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about it. They have enough talent and everyday abilities to be good this year. It's just that there's going to be ups and downs, and this is a down point, and they're 500 still. And the everyday things are first in strikeouts, defensively strong. It's like I said, good pitching. Can this lineup get more than, I don't know who the best hitter is? Is it this kid Roskowski at shortstop? Is he the best hitter that they've had going so far? I guess. I don't know. But somebody needs to start carrying the lineup a little bit. I don't know if any of these guys can carry the lineup at this early age.
Yeah, you'd think, Trevor Jordan's not really there yet. There's no power, not a ton of power in this lineup. Well, I should say I think the power is on the DL. Lovato had a really nice season last year with home runs, 40 home runs last year for Carolina. So he's out for 2 weeks. So maybe when you place him back in the heart of this lineup, that kind of helps. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that franchise is in good shape. Again, super handicapped. I hope he's able to pull to a place where he can just consistently be able to do some things right now. Because
if you're Durham, I shouldn't say Durham. They're actually playing well. If you're a Tampa Bay or St. Louis, this is where you could be really quick if you start liquidating some dudes, get rid of them, eating the money, and then things go fast, in terms of real lifetime, and you'll be right back there in the same situation. And you mentioned it. The market and the fans are in the pits here in Carolina. So
if he gets it up, it'll be the best rebuild we've seen in this league for sure. And we have seen other really bad teams come up from the bottom, like where Rochester is right now. I just looked at their.
That's a great question. But Rochester, I think that this is the best one so far, because this team was distressed. This whole franchise was horrible coming into it, and you look at those prospects. You look at the way the TBL team is built up the middle. Um, it's a fun team to manage. It's got to be a fun team to manage and it's and look forward with. So I think this has been the best one so far. I think Rochester's a little different because it was an expansion team. I think that Boston was just buried from the inaugural draft.
Yeah. Yep.
And the whole move to Carolina, whatever that may mean, whatever. They were just in the dumps.
Yeah, I guess my point is I hope because the history's so bad, I hope Mike's able to sustain enough success for the next few years that it just changes the franchise to the point where it's not a constant battle to constantly rebuild. I mean, again, it's not going to be able to operate like a Somerville that's got a $220 million payroll every year.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. Yeah. Just,
Yeah.
if you were great for a quarter century, so as long as Carolina's great for the next quarter century, it should be a top franchise.
A league at age 50 is still a young league, right? So that's not a bad goal to have if you're Carolina.
No, for sure. Yep. One season at a time.
Yep, exactly.
And speaking of an OG GM, our next, I don't know why I said speaking of, we weren't speaking of one, but an OG GM, our next GM up is the Baltimore Blue Crabs. Third iteration of this Baltimore franchise. Started off as the Admirals, and then of course we had the move for a while. I'm not even remembering where. Why? Washington? Generals,
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And then back to Baltimore. I'm glad we're back in Baltimore, personally. What are your thoughts on the Blue Crabs franchise? And
well, this is the best branding of that franchise, and I think I mentioned it before. It's hilarious how teams in other universes and leagues just cannot stay in one place in the Baltimore, Maryland area. They just have to move. So this is one of those teams that has to move. It's very coded to that area as well, and being a team that is pretty good, but just not good enough. And I like what Steve has turned his franchise into as far as not killing his pitchers. For those who don't know, Steve's pitchers used to have a UCL tear. Just about every simulation would have some type of season-ending injury, and I think that a lot of the way he built this version of the Blue Crabs came from learning about that. This got great starting pitching. He's got good young pitching. So I like that, and I think that his lineup's dynamic. A lot of lefties. I always love that. But as a competitor of his, the bullpen doesn't scare me.
yeah, I mean, I like the back end. The guy with the 14 saves here. I can't say his last name. Guzowicz. All right. Yeah, I don't know. He's having an okay start. He looks like a nice piece. He's got some lefties in the pen, so it's not like he's.
Well, let me tell you about
Flores
Guzowicz.
is pretty young.
When Guzowicz faces a lefty, he's not a 75 or whatever the heck he is.
I see.
So
that. He's got bad splits.
Yeah, he's got bad splits, and I think he's a good regular season guy. I think Steve would be well served by having a deep lefty, big arm in that pen.
He's got he's got a lot of arms though.
A lot of pitching, right?
Yeah, this is a pitching heavy team for sure.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, a lot of lefties. He's got 3 lefty starters. He's got 3 lefties in the bullpen. Mm-hmm. But lefties in the lineup, I think, is what you were pointing out. More than half his lineup is lefties. 6 of 9.
Yeah.
What's his park like? I'm curious. Pretty even. Lefty and
Yeah,
righty.
see. There's a couple of teams that have parks like this. I'm one of them. I probably have the biggest park in the TBL. Steve's got a huge. That's a big center field, and having speed, which the Baltimore, Washington franchise usually has, and
Carolina too.
dynamic
Sorry to
players
interrupt.
and
Carolina's just like both of you.
yeah, it's important to have that type of team. You know, you build your team for the park, and this team is built for that park. Problem is, he's got teams like me who are also built for that park.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and he is the number one proponent pushing realignment right now. He's been talking about it for a couple seasons. So
yeah. Well, he's right about a couple things here. He wants to do it from competitive reasons. I don't believe in that. Like, you know, that's not. Don't run from the smoke. Don't run from the fire. So that's ridiculous. Okay. Geographically, I understand. He should be in, like, Virginia and Baltimore should be division rivals, or you know, Denver and I guess Bighorn and Fort Collins or whatever. But you know, it's something where he's trying to run. He's trying to run from the grind. All right, it's only the Sapphire, buddy. Okay, so if you relocate him, make sure he goes to Jade. So,
yeah,
bury
it's funny. The original allocation, it didn't work perfectly because I let everybody choose their locations. But then I did pull it up on a map, and there was like an initial map that showed it by geography, even though some don't make a lot of sense. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like even if we looked at it as like a relocation by geography, it'd still be a little similar. There wouldn't be a lot of changing.
No, it wouldn't be. But yeah, he's a big proponent of that. So,
well, he's not the only one. A couple other people have chimed in, so it's probably going to go to proposals at some point. But but yeah, no, I like his team. He's got the good pitching. He's got a good catcher, right? Which is important. Alan Bayer. He's not the best defensive catcher actually, but he makes up for it by being the best offensive catcher, I think, in the TBL.
That's he's got a good. He's having a great year.
I mean, he's a good enough defensive catcher for those offensive marks.
Is he fake? Fragile.
Fake fragile.
He's fragile. I don't think he's.
He's got a pretty bad one in 2022, but he looks like he's pretty healthy. He hasn't.
Yeah, he needs to eat better too.
Yeah, he's had full seasons though without an injury, like 2021, 2024. So.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
Play up to shellfish. Yeah.
Mike Best is definitely a guy I know the name of. He's been. I don't know why I know his name. Maybe I'm making that up. I feel like I've said his name.
Might have been a target in the draft at one point for you. He's a good player.
Yeah, international signing.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, international. Yeah. Was it?
Maybe not.
Well, we'll get to his prospects, but you know, he's got some guys on the way, which whatever.
Yeah, he entered the big league in 2019, and looks like he was signed just to a minor league contract. So,
one of the better GMs at managing their budget. That's the one thing that annoys me about Steve, is that he's just not pissing away his budget on.
He mentioned too. He made this comment. He's never really had any high end talent. He has a guy that's borderline Hall of Famer that we've been voting for. Is that Zachary Fast?
I don't think Steve wants to trade or throw out big money. Like, he's a guy who, despite his prickly demeanor, is pretty introverted when it comes to making deals.
Well, he's not the guy to make the first move, I've noticed, because he's definitely opened the trade block several times. I've DM'd him a few times, because I'm not a first move guy either sometimes in a trade, so like we definitely have never come to an agreement.
But I don't even try dealing with him, because I believe he's the type of person who's going to just tax anybody in the division. I don't know this from any types of trade talks, but I have a feeling that I'd be paying a premium, which is the way it should work.
Yeah, I agree. Of course I do. I've mentioned that, but let's take a look at his books real quick. He's got a pretty flexible situation financially.
Yeah, it looks like he's in decision-making mode with a bunch of guys, and um, yeah, it's a lot of guys actually. He's got his center fielder, he's got the closer, got a couple arms.
I had to look it up because I was curious. In our 24 plus seasons, Steve has made 30 trades. So it makes a little over a trade a year.
Oh, you can actually see. I don't even know where to look that up.
I can see it on Stats Plus, yeah. I can tell you've made, let's see. You've made 84 trades in your 24
84.
seasons. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I can only see by franchise. So, like, if someone has been here forever, I'd have to go by dates a little bit more. But, like, Denver, for example, the franchise has made 227 trades.
Yeah.
Yep. So
they've had a couple of mercurial GMs.
Shows a different style, though, for sure.
Jay after that too.
Yeah. Yep.
Not saying that he's anyway. So it pays to make a couple trades. Maybe Baltimore is in the mood to actually pull the trigger. Steve loves to say after a sim that everybody's available, everybody's got to go.
Yeah.
Nobody ever goes. People are buying new houses. They got houses all over the DMV area.
Yep.
Their wives are just like, we're not going anywhere. What are you talking about? This guy's not trading anybody. So, maybe he's a big player away.
I'll say Steve's made. I'm just looking through the history because I am curious. He's made a couple big trades in his history, and they were in the mid 2010s. He traded away his two firsts, 2 seconds, 2/3, and a fourth, and a bunch of prospects for Boyd Perry, if you remember Boyd Perry from Boston.
Yeah, he pitched for Somerville for 1 year.
Yep. I don't think he did great for Washington because a couple years later, Washington shipped out Boyd Perry and Fred Cox for a first, a second, and a bunch of prospects from Milwaukee. So he's done a couple big ones there. But
yeah, shout out to Fred Cox, who I didn't vote for the Hall of Fame, but Steve campaigns for. I'd have no problem for anybody voting him into the Hall of Fame. I'm not doing it.
He had a great career. To me, the problem is the Hall of Fame balance is super crowded right now. Wrong Fred Cox, I think. Wait, batting stats. Oh, it's
all very good.
Regular season. Here we go.
And it depends on how you feel about batting average, right? So he was a pain in the ass.
On base machines, good too.
He might have been around 2010 or 11 the best leadoff man in the league's history, but it's a young league and it didn't finish off that way. But he's got the record for doubles of 70.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anybody's ever gonna break that record.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of doubles.
Yep.
So,
he's 7th all time in doubles. Not that again. That's not a.
Yeah, it's not a Hall of Fame worthy category.
Right. Yep. Just an interesting 11th in triples.
Yeah,
so he's a big extra base guy. We've looked at the stadium that he's played in.
Well, guys like that are game wreckers. That's the thing about it. So in the other universe that where there's something called Major League Baseball, we can always go talk about guys who they're not Hall of Famers, but they wreck games for a long time with their speed. Whatever it may be. This guy's a bat-to-ball guy, high batting average, but it wasn't overwhelmed. He wasn't a guy who was dominant over a long period of time.
Yeah. I do think Steve is an ageist. He doesn't have a single 30-year-old on his roster. Clearly has something against people of a certain generation in baseball. Just my deduction.
I'd like to watch 24-hour news with Steve. All right. I'd like to know what he. I'd like to talk to him about his Blue Crabs roster. About his.
I would actually love to get. All jokes aside, I would love to get Steve on a podcast. I think
there's
it'd
a lot
be
of
fucking
things.
great.
Steve seems to be a very interesting guy, but one of the best GMs to have in the league is this guy. Like,
I agree. Like, honestly,
person.
so when we're a new league, right, people are all like feeling each other out, and we had some sticky personalities early. And some people definitely, Steve rubbed them the wrong way, but I never thought Steve was a problem. I fucking loved his unique take on shit. I don't know. I've always loved Steve as part of this league, so hopefully he's listening to that and isn't feeling too bromantic here, but romantic from me.
It's important that you have guys like this who are willing to.
We can't all be vanilla. Yeah.
He. This is in the Somerville Twitter channel page, I should say, where he. Anyways, he had a rant with somebody over a trade that fell through or something. I think he didn't like answer a DM or something for a trade, and the guy's like, "I tried to trade that, for the guy," and I don't know. They got into some tiff, and Steve ended up saying, "Enjoy not having a prolific base dealer, bitch." All right. See, that's the type of owner or GM that I enjoy in the chat.
Yeah.
I never really.
I just
get in the way of it, but it's fun to watch when other people try to shit talk Steve.
If we did have a realignment, I want to make sure Steve and Daryl just land in the same division, just for future.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Let's take a look at your pipeline real quick, and then let's move on to another team. He's got a great pipeline. He's actually the number one minor. I know this reports nothing, but he's number one in minor league system rankings. Oh, by the way, Carolina's number 2. Oh, by the way, Boston's number 3. As we look at the Sapphire. Top talent in the systems.
The future is bright in the Sapphire with prospects, and it's kind of annoying. I wish it wasn't. But every time I look at that damn prospect list, I see a team in my damn division. So, I don't know. Steve does well, really developing players, and I think that these guys are going to become good players. I don't think this guy Gauna is a shortstop. I don't know.
No, maybe definitely not. I think he's a second baseman.
He might be.
At least right now.
Yeah, for now. It's young. He's young, but he can sure as hell hit.
If I was Steve, I would definitely be training him in a new position now, though. Like, I don't know.
Maybe. I think that, well, it's interesting because I don't know. Let me see. Switch over here to see what you have him at. Yeah. So I think this is a situation where you let him play at shortstop, and because he could become quote unquote 65, 60 shortstop if he plays there every day, or throughout the minor leagues. And if he doesn't, he can train up very quickly at second or third base. So the bat is good enough. Looks like a future hitting champion, batting champion. A lot of doubles, triples, steals. But yeah, he's a long way to go with him. Long way to go, especially when power is not part of the profile.
Yeah, I think I like his next prospect even more, Luis Meza. This pitcher looks sick. If you guys notice too, I'm actually gonna, who knows who listens to this specific part of the podcast, but international free agent. Let's just look at the international free agent amateurs right now. It doesn't look good by my scout, but out of the park. Oh no, this is pitchers. Hold on. Look at this. What's out here still? We're in May. Like, what are some of these GMs doing right now? Not paying attention.
Yeah.
I got 6 million available. 6 million available. 6 million
I wish
available.
I could. I don't know. Had the budget to go over and sign some of these guys, but if that list is correct there with all those 6 millions, and there's teams in this league that are sending money to Denver.
Well, this is a separate budget too. If you go into like any team, I'll go into my team real quick. Like this money is set. This money is set aside. If you go to player development, it's over on this page, and most people haven't zeroed this out. So even though I have no money here, I still have 6.2 million for IAFA.
Yeah, and there's reasons why people zero that out. I understand, because you can still spend money in IAFA even if it's zeroed out. the thing is that
Correct.
Nobody's spending. There's teams I'm looking at. Mexico City. I don't know how much money he's got, but that should not be $6 million available.
No. I mean, look at some of the demands on some of these guys.
Philly,
you could get a 55
Philly,
potential
Philly,
relief
Philly
pitcher.
Doing a great job. Philly, good job. Reapers, good job. Philly. Good job, Philly. I mean, because we want you not to spend, and don't spend in our division on talent. Just don't do it.
I mean, New York's right there. Let's go through this. Tampa, the High Rollers, the North Stars. Some of these might be locked out from last year. We got to remember that.
Yeah.
Nashville, OKC, St. Louis,
Nashville, we got to talk about
Virginia, the Scouts, the Seals, the Sasquatches,
the
the Vandals.
Yeah. All right. See, this is where the problem in the league is right here. And you're looking exactly at the problem and why Sports Illustrated had to talk about private equity ruining the one conference. It's all both conferences, the bottom of both the leagues, of both the conferences. You got to spend on IAFA. There's too much talent out there not to, and I don't know.
This is the team finances right now, so we can see who has money available. Any of these teams we just mentioned. Not a ton, but again, if you have the $6 million set aside.
Once again, Nashville. Well, here's the thing.
Nashville's got a lot of money. Go dump it all on these top IAFAs.
The key is that these guys reduce their demand as the season goes on. So spend $1 million.
Yeah.
7,500,000, whatever it may be. Bring in a guy.
Yep. Yeah, no, it drives me crazy that people don't do that. It's like the easiest thing. It's a fucking yellow button at the top of your screen every sim. Every sim. Like, look at it. All right, who are we on? I got lost. I think we just finished, Steve. Was that it? Or we were kind of looking at his prospects, which are really great.
Prospects, yep. Yeah, the pitcher Meza I like a lot.
Yeah, he's crazy good. He's got everything, and he's durable.
He is probably the best prospect I've seen as a pitcher in this 3 or 4 nights we've done whatever it is that we've done this this podcast.
Yeah,
he is insane to me because everything he throws breaks or changes speed, and that is a huge plus, and it moves.
And it's with max control.
Yeah, with max control. And
potential, but yeah.
And he holds runners. So everything is there. He's got a low baseball IQ. So what Steve may be doing, which is smart, is he's burying him in rookie ball until he proves he's going to go to the next level. And probably going to do that after that because this guy dominated rookie ball. Probably shouldn't be down there.
No, yeah, he's been there for a while.
But at the same time, his development risk is very high. And with those types of guys, you got to make sure that he beats a level before he moves up.
Yeah, I feel like he's beat it at this point. That's some crazy war for playing in.
Oh, he beat it. Yeah, he definitely beat it. He beat it when he would strike out 12 per 9.
He is. I mean, he is super young though. He just turned 20 this year, so I get it. Yeah. But no, I think he's gonna be a guy we're talking about for a few years. In a few years.
It's good to go slow with guys like this. It is.
As an OG, Steve should be using the nickname rule, and this would be a great candidate because I don't think Steamboat Bill is the best nickname for this guy.
No, it's horrible. Steamboat Bill. It's such a horrible. It's almost racist.
Yeah.
Steve, change his nickname, damn it.
Yeah, change it to something way more like reasonable, like Steamboat Steve or something.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding, but all right. Standings. Let's go on to team number 4, and I feel like there was another good team outside of you three. It was New York.
Yeah.
New York made the playoffs, right? No, they just missed. But 87 wins and missing the playoffs. That's a rough finish.
Yeah.
And he's added since winning 87 games last year, hasn't he?
Yeah. He added Eaton.
Yes. It's a pretty good
Yeah,
addition.
he's the guy who did that. He's the other guy in the division, which pissed me off that he actually. I thought Eaton was leaving the division. It's like he's either in Toronto or not around. Nope, he's in the division.
He's off to a
But
slow start, but I bet he picks it up. Oh, he's not. 11 home
Travis
runs.
Eaton is the reason I have left-handed pitching. So that's the first thing. But his pitching's ridiculous. Yeah.
His lineup's ridiculous. The 2-3 of Reinhardt and Eaton is so good. Montenegro's not terrible. He's former MVP. I actually don't remember that. I must have been traveling for that season.
Let me tell you that Fire Conference MVP award is, I don't know if it's the same materials as the the Ice Conference MVP award.
Wow, I forgot how good he was though. Three straight 7 war years.
Let me use this as an opportunity to continue this three podcast streak of ripping the current MVP of the Fire, Quentin Cook. But
Yep.
Gazy MVP.
We've had some bad ones. I'd like to look at the whole list. He's definitely got to be towards. If we looked again in 50 years, he's going to be towards the most forgettable, I bet. No offense to Quentin Cook. Maybe he has a great career after this. We could be completely off base.
He does. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we think? What do you think overall? I think this team's really dangerous. I think this is actually, if not you again, because you're coming off a 111 win team. I think this might be the team to beat out of the 4 we've looked at so far.
I think this is the team to beat. But they don't worry me. But they as far as being the starting pitching's ridiculous. All right, the Billy Perez trade that he made with Carolina, that is what I wanted to talk about with Carolina.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Off.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this guy's nasty.
That was a bad bet. That was the one misstep in the whole Carolina rebuild because this guy is the guy that I think is, he's doing number 1 or 2 ace in the conference. So that was tough. To combine that, his rotation's young. I think they go 24, 25, 26, 27, and then they have Sadler, who is still doing it. He's still all right. So it's the best rotation, I think, in the conference. I'm trying to think.
Wow, yeah, look how deep it is. It's impressive.
Yeah, I think it is.
A lot of pitches on these guys, all strong bars too.
No, it goes to say, what do you think about starting pitching? It's a question, but the team around it is, it's very good, but it's very right-handed.
Yeah, I think the defense is a little suspect.
Yes, that too.
Which again, when you have elite pitching, if you can bring in great defense, Wilkinson's okay. He's not a good bat, but he's there for the defense. I don't like the shortstop. I think that's actually the big upgrade that needs to happen here in New York. I mean, he's off to actually a really good start, statistically, I guess, but
Yeah,
I don't think he's.
as is, this is a team I think that
He's
can
got
win it all.
4.5 zone rating. Maybe I'm full of shit.
Nah, it won't. They had a tough time with. Let me see. I think it was defense last season. So listen, the team didn't make the playoffs with these guys, mostly not Eaton, but with these guys last year, and I think that had a lot to do with he had a star Zaluki, who was a cornerstone who fell off the earth, but last season he was at minus 25.55 total ZR. So
Yikes.
that wasn't good.
Yeah, that's a huge liability. Yeah, no, I guess I really like this team. I think Rich Reinhardt might be one of the bigger question marks as well. Just looking at him, he's real fragile, not fake fragile.
Yes.
He's got some real injury history here. And if you look, and this is just me, but he played 158 games last year, which for a fragile dude just tells me, and he's played 48 already this year, right? It tells me that something's coming, just because of the way the game works.
We talked about that with Las Vegas's ace. What's his name? Dinsher or something like that. And he actually tore his rotator cuff last sim because, it's the way the game works when you give a guy a high workload, a fragile guy, a big time workload, they have a propensity to have one of those seasons where they just fall apart. And it's one of those, it's not it's an injury usually that takes a year, maybe a year and a half to really get back from. And it's tough. And, it's the curse of the baseball player are those types of injuries. But I think I see that with him as far as his durability, Reinhardt's.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about the history of this franchise. We probably should do that just real brief. This was an expansion team, and it's probably the most successful of the 4 expansion teams. Obviously, Rochester set up for a lot of future success right now, but so is this team. And they've been really out of the gate, 83 wins in the inaugural season. Never really been a terrible team. Never below 71 wins here. And this hasn't been like a one-man job, obviously, but yeah,
they know pitching. Whoever did both, it's been, I've always been able to make trades with this team, and
I'm curious when JG took over.
Guys ask for certain prospects that I don't, I know that they're actually scouting and they're looking at things and they know what they're talking about, and this is one of them. And it's, his pitching's amazing.
Yeah, it looks like he's been here roughly 8 or 9 years. So this team definitely is fully stamped with his full credit. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm losing my words here talking about JG's team, but he's done a great job, and he's made this a contender. This is a top half. When we talk about the top half and bottom half, this is the last of the top half teams, and again, probably the top 2 favorite here.
Good job by him moving from Syracuse to.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember where this started. Empire. That's what I was like trying to think in the back of my head, and it was like.
Yeah, I don't know where. Like Syracuse always, it was just like a shitty brand and city. Baseball team, and no, that's. I don't know where in New York the Empire are located, but good job switching that up.
I'm trying to find prospect pipeline. Here we go. Just had like a brain fog moment here. All right, back at it. He's got some guys that are close, if nothing else. He's got a guy in AAA here, and Cohen. Good defensively. I actually like this guy for the shortstop role. Except for the turn double play, so maybe not. Maybe third base. But
yeah, I think it's a little paltry.
Not very deep.
Yeah, nothing's really blowing me away, but he may be in that window that teams like Denver find themselves in, or sometimes my team, where we just want to buy TBL talent to augment what we got and go forward, because there's no reason with the age of his rotation why he shouldn't just be looking to just add TBL talent at the level, and prospects may not be a huge thing for him right now.
Yeah, I agree. He's probably looking at the deadline, I would think. If this is a competitive division, I could see JG going for that over budget trade. He's in the green right now. He's still really well invested in scouting and development for where he's at as well. So that's pretty impressive. Despite not having a super deep system, I do think, again, looking at, we talked about this, like we haven't seen a lot of teams where this page isn't filled out. So like go into free agency and try to fill your system a bit more, maybe, because there's probably some talent out there that's better than what you have filling right now.
So that's the thing. So you got this nice young core. what happens when they get to their early 30s, or one guy falls off with an injury, or something happens, whatever, and you want to continue it? Where are you going to find that that those guys who know who have success in your system, and you can hand pick them out to help your older guys now get to the promised land? So it's a nice window. It looks like a nice window in New York, but what happens when these guys get a little older? I don't know.
Yeah, he's got Gavin Sadler locked up for 5 years right now. Not like in this contract, because he is going to have to pay some guys in a few years. So once Sadler gets 33 or 34, I can't imagine this is a good investment. He's still pitching really well right now, so I'm not going to trash talk this too much. It's just it's the length of the deal that I don't like.
That's why
for the age,
I don't mind it when my guys don't win Pitcher of the Year or go to All-Star games or whatever, because I don't want to pay them. And I don't know what, Sadler was one of those high overall guys, as far as, I think he was like a 75 or 80 or whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. But I'm looking at that, and that's not a Nick Henson like page, or other guys, not Nick Henson, but guys in the tier below him. That's a very good rotation building piece that you have. He's at $30 million a year, and maybe because he won that Pitcher of the Year. Every year he won that in. What was that?
2022. But this contract was signed in 2025. You could see some decline happening, so it's risky. He's still under 30 when he signs the deal, right? So that's questionable. I'm not gonna hate on it too much, but I think towards the back end of this contract, it's gonna be.
I think it's
regretful.
I think it's just, I think it's like $7 million.
To me, look at his books. He's at $140 million this year. I mean, he's just going to be locked up more and more over the next 2 years. So you're looking at the New York Empire for the next few years, which again are good. They're good looking.
The length doesn't bother me with this deal. Nothing really. It's just amount of money.
Well, again, what about Rich Reinhardt? He's getting paid a ton after he gets out of his first 6 years. I guess not a ton for a superstar. It's $26 million a year for a superstar, but he's injury prone.
That's fine. And he's fragile, so that's what he should be making.
Well, so to me, though, because this guy's fragile, and this is how much you're paying him, and this guy's over 30, this is a team that could be successful in some of these years, and I think there's going to be years here that he's not going to make the playoffs because he's going to have restrictions on his flexibility. I could be wrong.
No, you're right about that. There's going to need to be a pivot. That's what I'm seeing, and I don't want to say he got lucky with Travis Eaton getting there. He made the deal, but Travis Eaton becomes $40 million in 27. Montenegro, I mean, are you going to re-sign this guy? He's a good player, but what will he be when he's 35? Nothing, probably. I mean, it's a team that may. I can see where it can decay, where the roster can decay. I can see it, but solve it, figure it out.
Yeah, Montenegro. I think Montenegro is actually a good piece because he is 33, but he's has got decent bars. Like someone could, even if you're in contention, I would consider flipping Montenegro to have future room next year. Because if you look at this little dash right here, he's already 50% retained elsewhere. So if you flip him, he's 100% retained for the next person. Well, I guess that doesn't free up your cash situation.
It's not 100, but
I'm not thinking about this right, but
it's 50% of 50.
No, I think it's 50 and then 50, so it's 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you turn a guy twice, the first 50% would be retained by the original team. The second 50 would be retained by the second team. So for the third team, it would be free.
It's 50 and 50.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. But again, that doesn't help New York's situation. That would help whoever he trades him to. It just makes him more valuable.
Yeah, no, this is a guy who that's not the problem here. That's a good deal, obviously. So,
yeah. Getting on a tangent, I guess.
No, you're good. But can he stay in one piece? Can he stay in one piece? A lot of at-bats last year for Montenegro. 23 wasn't great. And I don't know, he's a good player to have. You got to have a guy like that. You got to have, when you have a rotation like that, you can't get rid of bats.
Yeah. I think the only weakness or the biggest weakness on this team also maybe is the bullpen, not super deep. We've talked a lot about New York, so sorry, I'm kind of circling back, but
nah, that's fine.
there's no high-end talent like there is with some of the other teams.
Where's a lefty to get the lefties out?
Yeah, that's a good point. All righties. Even in the starting rotation, you just have Sadler, and so
that's why
there's another thing to think about.
Yeah.
So
a team like that, this is a team that doesn't match up maybe well in the playoffs, but they got to get there. Last year they fell a little short. I think this is a team that would make them. Last year would have won a division in your conference, but they fell short of the playoffs in ours. So I think they're very talented.
Yes, victim of the strength of the Ice Conference. Last year's interleague play was brutal. The Ice just clobbered the Fire Conference, and that's been kind of a trend for a while, I think. But next up, Montreal, the Montreal Machine, and Josh, another GM who's been back with us for a while. He was the Herons GM for a little while. I don't remember how long though. Let's take a look. Where are we, Josh? He's been back just almost as long as JG. So, took over a pretty paltry franchise in the Montreal Machine, and in a point where they were at a pretty bad place too. Let's pull them up. This team's been pretty much the definition of mediocre. They've been like a 70 to 80 win team for almost a decade. And off to a slow start, as Josh mentioned in general chat.
Yeah, and the start doesn't get your team killed because guys like Shane Wilson, there's other guys not performing, and I think that they will turn it around, but just not talented enough at a lot of positions to really be competitive in the conference. So it's tough. It's tough because I think that you get caught in between sometimes, and you have good talent, high-end talent, and then you fall into the trap of selling when you're barely missing the playoffs, but you sell. And it takes a long time for guys to come back up. He's got this guy Tangney, who is playing second base for him, or is he shortstop? He's second base now. And there's another guy who hasn't hit yet. He just hasn't hit. And you're waiting for these guys. You're waiting for a lot of these guys to actually do something.
Yeah, I like Tangney a lot. He's basically a rookie this year. Came up right at the deadline last year. You're right, Shane Wilson. That's a terrible start for this guy. He's put up 5 WAR the last few years.
Yeah, he's probably the worst value in TBL right now, right to the second. I mean, the guy tears it up for 2 months and it changes. But
he got paid. That's why.
Yeah.
He got paid big time. $47 million this year.
Yeah, he left Kansas City for Montreal.
Oh, okay.
And
yep.
Huge year. And then that was it. So just dollars per WAR, whatever you want to call it. Probably the worst value in the TBL this season.
So far, for sure. I mean, yeah. Yep. No, that's rough. Yeah, the Ryan Mooten, let's take a look at this guy. Free agent signing from the Sasquatches. I actually thought this guy was going to have an okay career, but he's been pretty bad in his Spokane, but part of that's been the defense, I think. Maybe not, though. Maybe this guy's just a nobody. What do you feel about the hold runners
Well,
line?
this guy, Booten, is actually he's an innings eater, right? He strikes out a lot of guys for an innings eater, but he's not a number one. He's a really good number 5 because you can rely on him. He's not going to break down, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's a mid-rotation kind of guy. I think he could be a 2-3 on a winning team.
Well, a 4.58 ERA over 1,000 innings, a lot of base runners. He's having a tough time this year with the home run ball. Maybe because this is a stadium where that can happen. No, you know what's funny? These are types of guys that are very undervalued in the league. But he's just not number one. And he's also not a guy I'm giving 5 years, $60 million to.
Yeah. He was a former second overall pick a long time ago.
Is that why he got paid more money? All right.
Oh, yeah, no, he just had a lot of potential at one point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think some guys get paid because of their age and potential.
Yeah.
And,
Daniel Jones. Just kidding.
Yeah, oh, jeez. But that's, it's a construct potential, right? In OOTP, it's just a number on the screen. When we talked about it before, you give these guys an all-you-can-eat opportunity, play every day, and see who there's guys who go from 45 to 65 right away. I don't know. A lot of the guys on this team, like I said, we're waiting for them to actually. Mouton is a guy you're waiting for him to perform.
Yeah. Look at this guy on the DL, Alden McAllister. I actually really love his profile, but he's just like an injury train wreck, unfortunately. But he's got 3 sick pitches. Yeah, I feel like there's just a ton of very mid-level talent here. Not terrible, not a terrible team, but not anyone who's gonna like carry this team.
Yeah.
And
that guy McAllister is a guy I'd look to possibly move if I'm them. That's a guy that plays well in somebody's bullpen.
Yeah, he's got the bars.
Yeah.
I'd try to find out with this team where the defensive issues are, because they're 15th in defensive efficiency, first in errors, which tells me that the fielders aren't getting to the ball to make an error.
Yeah.
Like they're just giving up a bunch of hits and not being able to field.
I've played against this team often early on in the playoffs, and I'm trying to. No, actually, I was about to say that they had AstroTurf. They do not. They have actually a stadium where they give up a ton of home runs.
Yes, this is a home run park.
Yeah, home run park. So, trying to see. Yeah, where is their defense? Well, up the middle. Who knows? Let me see what's going on there.
I'm not sure. I feel like they're underperforming. Like I don't see any huge red flags.
I'm looking at this shortstop here. They got Bubba Wessels. He has great bars as far as playing shortstop may be concerned. I'm trying to see. He's got a lot of range, but he has no arm. Now, and he's also shorthanded. So that's a lot of what you just said, right? You look at his career zone rating, and it's horrible. It's horrible. He should be playing somewhere else. So that's a case where I think the bars that I'm seeing as far as his range and his shorthandedness, they may be just incorrect. This guy may not be a good shortstop. And that's
I think arm. You need arm if you're on that side of the infield. Like that guy's a second.
The hidden stuff, like I say, baseball IQ. You talk about baseball. You talk about getting jumps on balls. You're talking about knowing where to go with the ball. A lot of the things that aren't covered by these bars, and I think that this is a guy that is succumbing to that. So I think that may be a thing that's going on with a lot of these guys. But When you look up the middle of the field, you can start seeing these things.
To me, like defense is kind of hard to read, like what's good and what's bad. And if you're like kind of new to looking at this stuff, like zone rating to me is kind of just the first stat I go to. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's not the only end all be all, but if you're questioning if your guy's doing a good job, you can kind of look at zone rating and get a feel there. And if this number's negative,
I use the advanced stuff sometimes.
what do you use?
Well, if you go to the fielding stats and then go to advanced or expanded, I should say, you get that biz, right? That biz ratings system, or it's a count. It's a count of the balls that are hit in your area and what basically it categorizes every ball that's hit in your zone. So biz R is routine. So the R stands for routine. You should make anywhere from 90 to 100% of those. So I think he's making 100% of those. Likely is L. So likely and then likely made. E is even. So even is you have a 50% chance. I think it's 40 to 60% of the balls are expected.
Sure.
U is
Unlikely,
right?
And then
then you get remote and then or whatever and then
interesting.
Impossible. So that tells you what they're doing on the balls. It tells you it's almost, and we can get into the nuts and bolts of OOTP. I think eventually there's going to be StatCast involved in this, but it tells you exactly what the zone and the sprints and everything of the guys are when you see those numbers.
That's interesting. I've never looked at that page before. That's
That's it. It's the only way for me to sometimes see what a shortstop's doing or a center fielder's doing. Is are they getting the balls that they should be getting to? Are they making the plays that they should?
Yeah.
The percentages and whatever don't always tell the full story.
Yep. I think his books are interesting. Again, the Shane Wilson, man, hopefully this turns around, right? This could definitely become a terrible contract if he all of a sudden falls off a cliff. But I don't hate the aggressiveness trying to steal him from another franchise. I do feel like when you're signing, this is late to sign a guy for that much money. I feel like they should be cheaper by January, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's after
it's after the big sim.
5.
Yeah, the long sim.
So when you put your message in there, make sure you make the right offer. Blah, 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 make an aggressive offer. He actually decided to do that.
Little trick too. This could always come back to bite you, but like if you're the biggest offer at Rule 5, and you don't think anybody's gonna outbid you, just like retract your offer, make a smaller one. Sometimes it works.
Sign a guy to a contract that's tradable. Like I think that should be the number. For me, that's a big thing. Is this contract going to be tradable at a certain point? Or
you don't think you could trade Shadewell? Like I think he is, because he signed him for $50 million on the first 2 years, and you'd anticipate if you're giving a guy a 5-year deal, you're going to keep him at least for the front end of the contract. At $32 million a year, you don't think someone was going to take him $16 million retained if he's producing?
If he's retained, yes, but I'm also in the business of not
retaining. Fair.
So
yep,
that's the other thing. A lot of the stickers, just sticker shock on these guys. There's a lot of guys with sticker shock on, and that's one of them. You look at that. I think that's what happened with Eaton too. People saw the $40 million over the last couple years of his contract and didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, you're probably right. It really, I mean, for a lot of teams, it really restricts what you can do if it doesn't work out. So it can be risky. He's got a lot of 5-year contracts here, really small ones. Kind of interesting what he's done here, but looks like he's elevated his good personalities.
It's funny. We look at a lot of things that are kind of behind the curtain because of whatever your commissioner account or whatever. I would love to see some of the the locker room situations for some of these teams, because I think it's big. It tells a lot of the story. I think OOTP can do a better job of making storylines built around team chemistry, because if you pay attention to Major League Baseball in another universe, that is the story. It is what is going on every day. You can listen to whatever radio station or TV show you want, but it's always like that little, like, oh, this guy doesn't like this guy, or this guy doesn't like hitting in this spot, or this guy's not hustling, and doesn't like the manager, and it's the little things that make a baseball season a baseball season. And I don't think OTP does a great job in really pushing the chemistry aspect of it. But
yeah, they tried. They definitely tried to bring something in like that, but it definitely didn't hit it to the same extent that it's like realistic.
I think the mechanism of it, I think it works. I just don't think they do enough storylines or present it in the right way.
Yeah, fair. Looking at the Montreal system, we've got all guys in A or A minus or international complex, so no one really close here for the machine. And again, it's pretty deep. If we looked at New York a little while ago, we had 28 names on this list, and he's at least got like 54. So, so there's guys in the system, but no superstar talent really on the cusp.
No. I'm trying to see which guy I have the highest, I guess, potential with my. Yeah, he's got 16-year-old catcher. Looks like he had an IAFA signing. Not a bad signing. These are signings I'm talking about, if the potential makes sense. He signed his IAFA signing for $1.5 million this year. It's a good hitting catcher. He's got a 75 potential, once again, whatever that means. I don't have him scouted fully. And those things can change very quickly.
Yeah. And those young guys don't even appear on this list a lot of the times. Those like super young ones.
So I got there's a couple around that yeah. So there's Fierros, yeah.
Yep.
He looks all right.
Yep.
But outside of that, it's a little shallow.
Yeah, to me, this team, I think Josh is anxious to get back into playoff contention, but to me, this team's still like you should be thinking rebuild mode. Just because looking at the climate around you, like I just don't know if this team has enough to be there yet.
This is a team that would compete, every once in a while over in that Fire conference. And, I'm not trying to be a jerk here.
No, you're right.
But,
I mean, the Ice Conference has been good, and this has been a 75-win team.
Not that bad of a team.
No.
And I think he's snake bit this year. But 77, 76, 74, 76 wins. That's just super below mid. But it's a tough conference. It's a tough conference to be where he's at there. I think he thinks he's a player away, and I can see where he's thinking that.
Well, I will give him credit, he's got some financial room. He's not like super locked into, but he's another tough situation, right? This team hasn't been good.
Fan loyalty poor in Montreal is surprising. I didn't see that. That's...
Well, yeah, and this team has been 7 playoff appearances, and I don't know if any team's had a longer drought than Montreal. Has there been any other team that hasn't been there since 2009?
But I think we might have seen.
I can't think who would be that. Like, Vancouver.
Yeah, I think it's just I was gonna say Vancouver, but it's not them.
Phoenix is at 1.
It's a long time to not go to the playoffs.
Yep.
And Montreal was a beast. Those years that they were a playoff team.
Yeah, if you remember, those 2005 championships are current Las Vegas GM.
Yeah.
A long time ago. So.
And now it's, it's tough.
Yep.
I give credit to him for spending because, like we said, there's some teams that just won't even sign a Shane Wilson to that type of deal. And I'd rather see teams do it, even if they are in my conference. But,
yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know. We'll rank him here at the end. He's off to a super tough start. I don't think in the Ice Conference you can get off to a slow start, unless you're one of the top teams like Denver last year. Harder to climb the mountain when you're a middle team trying to sneak it in. So
Yeah, and Montreal really does have a deep bullpen. They've just gotten smoked by injuries. I mean, a couple of injuries. But I don't know.
a lot of lefties in the bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know why they are so bad this
Well,
year. I think it's just
let's talk about one thing. So we've talked about Montreal a lot, but let's talk about construction of a team, right? In the ballpark, right? We've got a home run park, and your two best cleanup hitters, you've got 5 home runs here, and they don't have a lot of power. Like, this is a DH with 50 power. So it doesn't really fit his park very well, right? I mean, this guy's got 10 home runs. He's got 50 power. That's luck so far.
yeah. You gotta play for extra base hits. The league right now is built for extra base hits and getting the extra base via a stolen base and hitting the ball at the park, right? So
Montreal has the all-time home run leader that played his whole career here in Steve Moss, right? If you had a guy like Al Lovato on Carolina who just hits a home run or strikes out, he'd be perfect for Montreal. So I think as Josh builds his team moving forward, he should really look for that kind of profile where he can just get a guy that hits like 40 or 50 home runs a year and get like 2 or 3 just chalked into this lineup.
Yes, definitely. You gotta scare people. You gotta put pressure on teams when they come into your place and play a style of ball that, it plays well on the road, but is, you're winning every 2 out of 3 games at home, and that's the goal: win 2 out of 3 at home, go 500 on the road. That's how you get to the playoffs, and this team isn't built for that at home.
Right. Yeah. All right. Josh has been chatty, so I'm glad we gave his team a lot of attention, even though it sucks. Next up is, I think, Philly. I've been guessing, but I've been good so far. So Philly, number 6, 70-92. I haven't looked at Philly's team, but just looking at the team position rankings, surprisingly a lot of green and blue here.
Yeah, I'm happy they're starting to turn the corner. Actually, I'm not, because in real life, in Philadelphia, I can't stand.
Oh, I'm the same way. So this isn't Bobby's fault. Bobby has been a great GM, but this franchise was started by Dan, who's a big Eagles fan. You and I are both big New York Giants fans.
That's right.
I fought so hard against him making this team, the Philadelphia Eagles, but in the end, I just wanted a good GM to join the league. So I relented, and somehow this team has not changed names in 25 years, to my dismay.
I can't. Yeah, it's
changed logos.
Somebody should move this team first and foremost.
Bobby, bring it to Florida.
Where's Bobby from?
Bobby's from the Tampa area, I think.
Okay.
So,
move
the Gulf.
The team down to the Panhandle or something. All right. The people are nicer and more hygienic in the Panhandle than they are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. I cannot stand Philly, but everything I say about this team during this preview, review, or whatever you want to call it,
full bias,
really is going to be because I don't like Philly and not because of the GM. And I think that the GM has made some trades that he would get absolutely, I don't want to say lynched, but I'm going to say it, by people of Philadelphia, mainly the Nick Henson trade. And
that was a rough one, for sure.
Yeah, that was a bad one. There's some other bad ones.
So just to remind you what he gave up for Nick Henson, he got a really great return, but it still wasn't enough because it was Nick Henson in his prime, I feel like.
I looked at the return for Nick Henson. He got nothing back for Nick Henson.
He got 2 firsts, a second.
He got the third. I don't think they turned in anything. I got to look. But
Well, yeah,
third
that's a different
baseman.
story whether you can turn your draft picks or anything.
Yeah.
But he had
McIntosh
two firsts, a
was the
second,
baseman.
two firsts, a second, a fourth. Brian McIntosh, and then a bunch of prospects who I don't recognize any names here.
Yeah. So, and McIntosh was a maniac. I think he got more out of the McIntosh trade than he did for the Henson trade. So that kind of, I don't know. It's
To me, it wasn't that he got a bad return. It's that Nick Henson should have been like your 1 through 5 in multiple draft classes and 5 prospects who are highly rated.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Nick Henson could have gotten the moon, and he got just a good return instead of a great return.
Yes. And it was a move that I don't think had to be made. You can
That
trade
too.
everybody else.
That too. I thought Philly was in a good place when he blew that up.
You can trade everybody. You could literally rebuild with Nick Henson on the team.
Let's look at this. I mean, let's look at this. Nick Henson was traded in 2019. That team finished 77 and 85 that year. If he was on the team the whole year, maybe they're a playoff team. Maybe not though. I don't remember. Had just missed the year before, but this was like the only window of success in Philly, and that was during Nick Henson. Nick Henson's emergence, basically.
That's that no man's land where you really need to retool instead of
Look how good he was.
Yes.
Jesus.
just selling off. But whatever. I mean, that's the greatest pitcher. I don't think that this league's going to run for 100 years and there'd be a greater pitcher than Nick Henson.
Maybe not. Yeah, for sure. At least not at the peak. I mean, I can kind of see where he made the decision to move him. The numbers are slowly going up. He's still elite at this point, though. So maybe I can't. He had 8 WAR when he traded him.
Yeah,
That's insane. That's insane. He had 8 WAR
I'm sorry,
at the moment of.
1.43
He
ERA.
had 239 strikeouts in 147 innings. Ugh. Yes, no, yeah, I'm not gonna roast Bobby forever on this one, but that was
no, and that's the whole thing about it is that the things that how strongly I feel about that trade right now was not how strongly I felt when he made it. I didn't really think about it that way, but as Nick Henson started stacking up years, I'm like, damn, that was a bad trade, and the whole Philadelphia thing,
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, this is really going to rub you the wrong way, JR. But while the Philadelphia franchise has 5 playoff appearances, they do have 1 more championship than you.
Yeah, well, that Philadelphia team was a storied team in TBL history.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he brought that up so I can jump over to Stats Plus real quick and take a look at this. That team, I believe, had the highest payroll of any team. And
More than the Denver teams? I don't think so.
$248 million payroll.
I think Tampa Bay 2 years ago had a higher payroll.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Well.
But no, your point is taken. He was the first guy to do the over budget trade.
Yeah.
Brought in Marcelo Bland that rookie year. If you look at this 2001 team, they had 3 Hall of Famers: Bland, Gonzalez, Jim Green, probably more than that actually. So, yeah, they were nasty.
I'm sorry, Denver had a higher payroll one year.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay was close. They didn't get up to that. But imagine coming off of an inaugural draft and a team was a legitimate $250 million payroll team coming into the first year of a league. That's how they won that.
Well,
Took my team out.
and you have to remember,
first.
this is, again, just sorry to go back in history, but the inaugural draft, I didn't make the budgets after the first year. It was literally like we just drafted players, and some teams went straight superstar, and that's what Philly did. They drafted like 35, 36, 37-year-olds that were great.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yep, and then some teams drafted young guys. So like a Huron, who drafted all prospects, they started with like a $120 million payroll. It was something silly. And then this team started with like $240 million. Then it all kind of merged towards what it was supposed to be over the next 2 years. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you there.
No, but that's the inaugural draft was hit hard by Philly, and those were the best. He got about 3 or 4 of the best players in the league in its infancy on that team. So that's where that all came from. But when it came down to drafting, I believe he had 1 pitcher. You know what's funny? There's been 2 great pitchers in league history that have been
George Reed?
out of Philadelphia.
George Reed?
Yeah, Reed's the other guy. So those are the two things that Philly, Henson and Reed were the only things that Philly have gotten out of the, and I think he had a second baseman that they got out of the amateur draft. Very top heavy, nothing else the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just curious who their best player all time. Like Jim Green was their best player by far. He actually put up a lot of WAR in Philly. I'm surprised he stayed there that long. Yeah, let's talk about this year's version. Enough about the past. Bobby's been here, I don't know how long. It's been a while, obviously, since the Henson years.
Long enough to move him.
Long enough to move him, yeah. He's been here a real long time. 2,700 games. Do the math there. That's at least 15, 16, 17 seasons. If you remember, Bobby was actually the Chili's Picantes GM really early on, I think.
He's probably my favorite Chili's Picantes GM of all time then.
I think that's who he was. Yeah, he'll have to confirm that. I'm starting to have a memory fog, but going back to his team, what do you like about David Hollinsworth? Probably the stud on this team right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is kind of hitting at one time, which is good for them. So you're starting to see players hitting their prime at the same time that are just good players. So Hollinsworth is the guy, right?
Hollinsworth was brought in as a free agent this year. In a trade with Carolina.
Trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's big.
And he looks all right. So many times you wait for these guys with these sexy bars to do stuff, and he's one of them. So
what do you? This is the problem, right? This guy's a train wreck, injury wise. We're talking like what we call in my other league, a scroll guy, because you have to scroll to see all his injuries.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think that's probably why he was moved by Carolina, who's a small market team and can't be committing to a guy like this in the future. A first round pick is all it took, though.
Yeah. This is a guy that has a 70 overall potential.
Oh, I'm sorry.
70 gap, 70 power.
I was gonna say too. He traded a first round pick for this guy, but he got a third round pick back. So he didn't even. It was more like a swap.
It's pretty good. I mean, that would be a good deal for both teams because I'm gonna tell you right now, all those stats or those bars and ratings don't mean anything with this guy.
Oh yeah, it's all about availability, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Played 45 games so far, so that's a nice sign. But I can't imagine it's gonna hold up. I hope. Again, if Bobby's listening and he's playing this guy, he's got him on like some kind of rotation where he's not playing every day, which I'm afraid he might be. 45 games in how far in are we? 48.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing with injuries and injury proneness and fragile guys is he's gonna play 120 games, 110 games. You got to make sure it's on your terms, right? So get him some rest. Don't make it 110 because he's out the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, if you don't have him for the postseason, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
So I would definitely have him on a rotation out every third or fourth game. But yeah, no, this team's been really well constructed, and they've suffered for a long time. So I'm always rooting for the suffering in the poor.
Well, that's the thing about it is that I don't want the game to be boring or
unfun.
Not fun. I do like it when people are aggravated publicly, like Steve or whoever. But that's about it. I like good vibes around this, and you want to see Philly have a little bit of success, a little bit, not too much. But this is a good start, position players wise. Pitching, they're not there, and there's just no depth on the TBL side so far on pitching as far as pitching is concerned.
Yeah, I like this team. Kind of a red flag here, Joe Warfield. This guy's been legendarily good defensive.
One of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, it looks like the
The
fielding
War
has come to an
Machine.
end. I just want to point this out if Bobby is listening. I was just taking a look at his page here. He's got a -5 zone rating so far this year at shortstop after being a really great shortstop in his career. So you
He
might
was
need to
one of the
move
best
him.
shortstops I've ever had. I never had a problem with this guy, uh, shortstop.
He might be a third baseman at
He
this point, though.
well, I traded him to.
He's also hitting
Uh,
110, which isn't great.
yeah, you get to put a. See, I used to put him in a 9 hole, and I didn't care what he did because he'd hit like 20 home runs and hit, walk a ton too.
Hmm.
But I traded him. I traded him to Michigan. What do you call it? Mexico City, and he turned him into a third baseman, which I thought was a mistake. I thought this guy was a stone cold shortstop, but yeah, that's where he got his third base chops from.
Looking at Jose Curbelo, kind of an interesting guy to point out. He is super young, not fully developed, but this guy's got really great bars. Doesn't really have second base bars. Again, I don't like some of the defensive decisions Bobby's doing here or making here. -4 zone
Yeah.
rating, playing second base with just crap bars. So this guy could be like
Yeah.
just a top first baseman in the league, but not a good second baseman.
I believe that at this time in this league's history, the way the conditions of the league, you cannot have a bad player up the middle with the glove. So it's tough. It's tough to have a guy like Corbella at second base.
I agree. I think you even sacrifice any kind of bat just to get good defense up the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
The outfield, the center fielder is pretty underwhelming as well defensively. The corner outfields look pretty good. I don't like. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, not that I don't like, but just looking at what we're talking about, defensive efficiency is 14th, zone rating 16th. So this is a 500 team with the worst defense in the Ice Conference. So if that can improve, I think this team can be a competitive team for sure.
Yeah. Hollinsworth's got to stay healthy. He's off to a hot start with the home run ball, especially. That park is one of the unique parks in the league, and I would like to see. I mean, I wouldn't like to see this happen.
Damn.
Don't do it. I would like to. I would have mashers from the left side.
For sure. Yes, get some left-handed home run
I would
hitters
just have
here.
left-handed
That's a
fly
clear
ball
outlier.
holders. Yeah, and I would just have. It would be. I'd spam the lineup with those guys. It's tough to do it, but because you come in after another GM. But that's what I would do.
He's got Brian Haynes out there, who's a lefty with power. His cleanup hitter's a switch hitter, who hits lefties better. He actually hits righties really poorly. Yeah. I think this is a competitive team, not top end.
It's no man's land.
Same. It's one of those teams that needs sustained success to get out of this hellhole too.
Yeah, and we'll look at let's see what they have in their system.
Yep.
Because they'll tell me if they have the person on their way. I don't know much about their system at all.
Well, salaries is one thing too. Just looking at this real quick, flexibility. If he's competitive here, I feel like there's money to make a move, right? I don't know. Let's look at his. He's got like $6 million in money right now. He's still got scouting and development money invested, but no one's like locked up on this team, which makes sense. He's got no superstars yet.
I would consider locking certain guys up though.
Look at this though. That's great for this injury-prone dude. I know he's only in year 3, 10.55. You know.
Yeah, that's a good deal though.
Yep.
There's other guys that I would consider extending just to keep a core around. I don't know who specifically you'd want to be the core and what they're asking for. This is not a great place to play as far as re-signing guys and what they want to do. They may be threatening free agency left and right. I don't know. But a guy like Christensen, maybe you extend him and try to lock him down cheap. I guess a guy like Dunphy, captain, center fielder, probably going to move him to the corner eventually. I would he's a former first rounder. I would consider locking him up long term, especially when he's playing horribly. This is exactly the time I lock guys up.
Yeah.
You know, they come to the bargaining table. They come few million less for sure. But there's some guys I would lock up long term on some modest contracts just to keep a core around and get the fans used to having
Some names.
a certain team on the field.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think he needs to be a little careful. He's got a lot of guys here that I just really don't like the injury history. Like Ron Lembo looks like he's the type of guy you would think you'd want to extend first round pick, and then you go to that injury page and it's just
Would you?
questionable.
Because Lembo's a guy who he's another guy. Like, I don't want to call him fake 65s or whatever you want to
I
call
don't
him.
think this guy's fake.
But,
Look at his K to 9 ratio the last 2 years. He's strikes out a ton of guys.
Strikes out a lot of guys.
Look at his BBEEP. If this guy has a defense behind him at all, his ERA is a point lower.
Guys are hitting 330 on balls in play, and this guy's got a 55 BABIP. So I don't, this guy's not supposed to be giving hits up. That's a problem. See, that's a good thing to look at.
BABIP.
Wow, I would deal him.
Yeah. Well, I'd put a defense behind him, but first, but then I would deal him. I mean, he's competing. He's competing right now. So if he wants to compete, he needs to put a defense behind his pitching.
But
and the
last 2 years have been bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the strikeouts are nice, but the problem is that anytime somebody touches the ball, they turn into Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, but again, that's the defense. I don't think that's.
Yeah.
I think when you have the worst defense in the Ice Conference, the BBEEP's going to be high. I bet if you looked at any of his pitchers, it's above 300. I bet this is like a team-wide thing. I'd be curious what his team BABIP was last year.
Who is BABIP? Hold on a second. Hold on a second here. So is it BABIP? Like I've been saying for 20 years, or BABIP?
I have no idea. I'm the worst person to ask. Because like I know advanced analytics.
I'm gonna tell you it's BABIP.
I think you're right. I'm gonna say it's a Vermont accent and just go. I'm gonna say it's a Vermont accent and just go with that because there's not even a million of us, so who's gonna question me?
But yeah, no, I hear you.
But anyways, yeah. So I think we've kind of identified what this team needs to do to
yes
improve a bit. Who's next? Oh, we didn't look at the system. We should give some proper credit here. Philly's got a decent system.
Yeah, I like what they got going on here. I mean, I'm trying to see how old this Showalter kid is to see if he's.
You get a lot of youth here. Brooks
not there.
Williamson is kind of close down here. Nothing special.
Let me look at somebody who's close to the show, like Arturo Molina, is number 4 prospect that I got here. Yeah, so I don't know. There's some pieces.
I'm glad he's still pretty highly invested in his scouting and development budget, primarily development budget. I think if anybody, I personally like to keep my development budget maxed, and then if I can take, I take for my scout.
There's some times where, like the last couple of years for my team specifically, where you just have to have a player somewhere.
Oops.
And maybe take a little bit of a hit on it. Most of my years I've been at 30 million. I spend nothing on scouting. I just think I can. Here's a funny thing about scouting. I think that even the best scouts are wrong 70% of the time. So I do my own scouting in my head here and just pick guys.
Yeah, I think Reese agrees with you. He's got his own whole scouting system. I thought that was interesting. You said that whole system's based off of like no ratings, which is cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the next one. We've given a lot of time to the Sapphire, so
yes, we have.
People enjoy.
It's working out here.
I think Boston or Toronto. I think Toronto was last after the blow up. Maybe I'm wrong though. Oh, I am wrong. Toronto, Kevin. Kevin's been a mover and a shaker. I actually, JR, I probably need like 2 minutes to grab a drink, so let's just take a quick.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, back in a second. You there?
There we go. Unmuted. All right.
Nice. Do you watch college football?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Are you? Oh man, I just walked.
Yeah.
It's on in the other room. I didn't realize how close it was.
Yeah. No, I've been looking at it. I'm a big Georgia guy.
Oh really?
Georgia fan.
I was gonna say I'm rooting for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like Georgia.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ole Miss win it all with Lane Kiffin out of the picture. I think that's kind of funny.
The history of Ole Miss kills me, but
I don't know any of that stuff.
I like this year's team.
Yeah, I've never been a huge college football guy. Like in Vermont, there's no college football, right? So, yeah, just the whole playoff expansion thing's really brought me in. So such a great idea by them.
Paying the players, everything. It's been great.
Yeah, pay the players questionable.
I love it.
Questionable on pay the players. I mean, I don't know if you heard, like, with the NBA right now, they're, like, pulling in, like, actually guys who've played, like, in the NBA G League, and now they're playing college basketball.
All right, well,
don't like
that's
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's opened all that up. It's opened all that up. Anyways, back to the TBL. Toronto Griffins and Kevin's team. What are your thoughts on the Griffins, formerly, this is confusing, the New York Griffins?
Yeah. I like their hitting always, because a lot of the guys that he's trying to get rid of.
Who's left?
Yeah, who is left, right? Wong. He needs to go. If he can.
I was just wondering if there's a no trade clause. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, and he's taking a little dip here, huh? And
he's on pace for 6.2 WAR. Again, I know you don't just go by WAR, but easiest measuring stick in my opinion.
He's a good player. I think that you want to go full rebuild. You don't want to stick around with the 32-year-old guys, Rosales, Wong.
Yeah, age is the issue here for sure.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they would be cool to have. I still think they're tradable either, so that's the other problem with that. But maybe if you eat half of the money. Yeah,
$20 million retained for this guy. I don't know, someone paying this guy $20 million.
Wong is interesting to me because he's had according to my scout, he's falling off a cliff a little bit. But we talk about the Travis Eaton, then we theorize about Laredo. This is a guy that if you're looking for a bat in the middle of the lineup, after seeing what Eaton was traded for, you got to go ahead and call Toronto. Call Kevin, see what's going on there. If you need a bat, if he's going to retain half.
Well, it's tricky. I think for a team like we just looked at, maybe like, man, I'm having brain fog tonight big time. Philadelphia, who doesn't have like a ton of money committed on their books. Like maybe this makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're competitive and you need that second baseman hole plugged.
Yeah. Yes.
We talked about how his second baseman should be playing first already.
Yes.
I'm not going to go back on that. I'm getting lost, but I'm so lost today. I can't navigate. Here we go.
But we've seen a couple guys who shouldn't be at second base. This guy's light years better.
Yeah. I mean, he's only average, candidly. Defensively, he's a great hitter.
That's fine.
But do you think this guy's a Hall of Famer? This is going to be a borderline guy. I feel like it's weird. He's had a short career. He came in at 25, right? Because he's an international.
It depends.
Puts up 6 WAR this year and then 4 over the next 2 years, and he's at 57, 58 WAR, hitting 300 for his career right now. I don't know.
At second base.
No awards or no red tape. Of his rookie year.
That's tough. He's borderline. I'll tell you what. He's got an MVP. That MVP is huge. We also have
6 All-Stars in 7 years.
Yeah.
So
he's he may be a Hall of Famer. He's got to really put together another couple of good years at second base while playing second base, and I think he's in.
Yeah, he's got to play into his mid-30s like successfully. I think
just a couple more.
Yeah. All right. What else do you think about this team? I feel like I've hijacked.
It's all good. No pitching. No. No. It's funny when they were good, they didn't have any pitching. So there's nothing to
Wow.
really.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah. There's
Intentionally.
nothing to really look at other than what they should do.
Yeah.
What
What he's been doing.
players. Yeah.
Yep. Just to pull that up real quick, I can look at his trade history here. He's moved a lot of pieces. Like I said, I've liked some of these deals. I've not liked some of these deals. I don't know. We'd have to look at the prospects, but Travis Eaton went for 3 prospects. I'm not sure if there are any.
I didn't like that trade, but
Yeah.
I don't think he had many people bidding on Eaton, and he wanted to get something before Eaton hit $40 million a year. Um, but I am surprised he didn't get much for that.
Yeah, like this
As
guy
much as
looks.
he should have, I think.
This guy doesn't look very good at all. He's probably the worst piece. I hope.
Well, I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
a
don't
first
know.
baseman.
he might be a first baseman.
Yeah. I feel like he's made some really great deals, and then others were just a bit rushed, in my opinion. Like, eventually someone's going to pay for Eaton. He was the MVP last year, was he not?
Yeah. No.
Or
Reagan
like,
was.
You're right, Reyna. Yeah, a few
Um,
years ago though.
But so I think that was a mistake. He was impatient with that trade. He could have kept him
Way off.
all the way up to the trade deadline this year, and it doesn't pay to lose games in a TBL with the lottery. So you're better off maybe keeping Eaton around for a little bit longer. Squeeze a couple dollars away from the fans that want to wear their little Eaton jerseys and come out and see him, and then make the deal. And then it's I don't know.
If you do look at his card, it makes a little more sense, right? He was traded December 2nd, 2024. He came off of a year where he played 38 games.
Yeah.
So you trade him.
After,
Am I doing that after this monster season? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. At 7.2 WAR season, I feel like he can entice a little more out of people.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he traded away Brian McIntosh, who's a douchebag.
That was a good deal.
Yeah, you got a first and some prospects for that, so I loved that trade.
Yeah,
he's
he
made a
robbed
bunch.
Denver. You know what's funny?
He did. That was a good deal for
Not
Toronto.
to put a picture into something, but he robbed Denver. Every guy he traded
Yeah,
for.
hey, Jay's won a lot of trades. He definitely. I feel like Jay definitely lost that trade.
Yeah, but
He traded
Yeah,
Reyna
there.
to you for again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it looks like 4 prospects, or
Yeah.
3 prospects, and then Tony Acuna.
but
And then he flipped Tony Acuna for a 6th and a closer in A-. So
yeah, so he did a good job with that.
Greg Tarver was the other guy.
Tarver, yep. Tarver, Acuna, and the third baseman.
Tarver, I thought could have gotten more too, but I maybe I'm wrong. He got a 5th and like a bunch of prospects.
Yeah, that's good. I thought that was pretty good.
Tarver's still a free agent because he's wrecked. He's an 80-80 sitting in free agency right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'll never touch him.
Yeah.
I think everybody's learned their lesson. I shouldn't say that.
Someone's
The
gonna
only
grab
reason
him at the
he's not
deadline.
signed-
What's he asking
Well,
for?
what is he asking for? So Tarver's asking for $27 million with a currently sitting with a torn UCL. So
Oh yeah, he's out for like months.
yeah.
Forgot about
So Tarver is he's a piece of work. So,
Duck
the good
breast.
thing about Tarver is
Duck
2 or 3
breast.
months from now, that's
Sorry.
he'll be able to take his proper workload, like 60 innings, including the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean he might be perfect for someone down the stretch. Who knows? All right. So, anyways, Kevin, yeah, he's made a lot of deals. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
He's in rebuild mode. His team's trash.
Salaries there real quick.
His salaries aren't bad. He's got nothing on the books.
He was screwed that's the whole thing about those trades. Is he was screwed with Henson,
Well, he was
Reyna,
locked
and
in for sure.
Eaton and Wong.
But do you think that team was uncompetitive? I feel like that team was competitive. Maybe it just wasn't fun though. You know, when you're a new GM coming in, maybe you just want to blow it up and.
It was competitive, but you'd have to play a certain way to. You'd have to have a certain ideology, I guess, or baseball constitution to like that type of team.
When he shipped off, what was that? The 2022 trade we just talked about. Nick Hentz. No, where am I? Or I guess the Acuna trade. I'm going back to Philly, I think. Anyways, this is 2024 where he trades, so he's definitely on the decline when he started to blow it up here. But this team came off like a really strong window of like 93, 98, 100, 97.
Well, that's the thing. Once they added Henson during that run, I thought that they were going to win a championship for sure, and they did not.
Yeah. Did this team ever make the championship? I don't think they did, right?
During that run, no.
Ever, yeah, during that run. I was looking at this. This was actually a pretty interesting stat. Only, I think, 5 teams in the Ice Conference haven't made the championship game.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, like I think there's 11 teams here if you go through it all. And something similar. Maybe it's even more than that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm not too good right now, but it's really interesting. Some of the teams that haven't made it. Fort Collins is one. Tampa's one.
Yeah.
But all right, last team, the Boston Beacons, or actually we should look at the Griffins, what they've been doing with all these picks.
Oh, yeah.
And then let's look at the Boston Beacons, and we'll be through the Sapphire.
My guy Tim Hart.
Tim Hart.
Yeah, so I traded him in the Reyna trade.
Yep. Doesn't look like anything too special. He's really great by OSA, so my scout might just be unfriendly.
He's a guy that I think would have been. He needed to stay in our system because we had a path for him. But I don't know what goes on in the Toronto system, if it's good or bad. So he's fallen off a cliff. And he's a shorthanded third baseman who had tremendous power potential and would steal some bases and be a good base runner, just strike out a billion times a year. I don't know. I thought he was going to be all right. I should come clean about what I think he was the second best third base prospect I had at the time, though. So he was my best prospect as per the OSA prospect rankings by far. But in my system, I think I had maybe 1 or 2 guys better at third base than he was.
Yeah, he's just your standard 13th round Somerville pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right. My scout really likes Gabe Guevara. Good personality, good bars offensively. Maybe dev up the defense a little bit. But looks like a powerhouse. What kind of park does Toronto play in?
Switch hitter.
Toronto is in a pretty weird park as well. Lefty home runs and lefty average, really above average. So lefties thrive here as well.
Yeah, I built my team to combat ballparks like this one in Philly. Yeah, you have to have left-handed arms and left-handed bats in these ballparks.
Okay. Boston Beacons. JP. JP's been quiet for a few years. I played with him in another league. He's won championships, so he knows what to do.
Yeah.
And he's been in rebuild mode for a minute with a the franchise that's been in pretty rough shape, the Boston Beacons. This was a move from Lehigh Valley. This was our Lehigh Valley Scrapples franchise. And again, yeah, he's been here for like 16, 17 years. Let's take a look at the Boston Beacons. Oh, I gotta update these jerseys. Ugh.
As I watch Georgia lose. Sorry.
Are they gonna lose?
Yeah, they're done.
I like to see the teams that haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, well. Boston. Now, it's funny because, yes, they look like a Bad News Bears team in their photos with the Lehigh Valley uniforms on. I didn't realize that their nickname were the Beacons until just right now. Okay. So
fair.
the rebrand isn't going so great as far as the people of Somerville are concerned.
Well, some of these
Tell you, gun to your head until like 5 minutes or whatever, 3 minutes ago, I did not know their name was the Beacons.
some of these teams rebranded and then went to the top of the standings. Yeah. This team rebranded and went to the bottom of the standings. So it's understandable.
Yeah, and we've had so many changes in this division with relocation and branding, and this is Lehigh Valley to me still. But I thought that this was this is a team that is very loyal to their fans, and when I say that, I think he held on to a lot of his star players too long, and this is what you get when you do that and just pay them. But I think he kept his budget high because of doing that. So that's what this is here. Also, JP's team has he went for it 1 year during I don't know, a couple years ago. More than that. During that 16, 17, 18 run, he went for it. And he traded everything in his system to put the best TBL team out there. And it did not work. It failed horribly. But here we are.
Yeah.
Is he able to go ahead and take these high draft picks and turn them into something? Right now, the answer is no. It's one of those teams that I always kept my eye on as far as having a poor minor league system, too. So I didn't really... At first, the minor league system was really bad, and now you're starting to see everything metastasize into what you're seeing right now, which is might be the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, for sure. His system was always really bad. The GM he inherited it from, too, really had no system. Yeah. That just kind of continued. He did have, a peak here in the 2000s, 10s, and really was a pretty good team. Even the 2 years he missed the playoff, 85 and 86 win teams that didn't make it. So he had a good chunk there. Just there was some other really, really good teams, and so nothing, happened. It looks like this is kind of year 4 of the rebuild after being kind of middling for several years, and so yeah, he's been kind of a forgotten franchise for a minute.
Yeah, those the heyday of the ice, or whatever you want to call it, it still may be the heyday of the ice. He was one of those teams like Montreal where it just wasn't good enough at the time, and it's because maybe the conference is stacked, So he could have probably very easily made it into the playoffs in the other conference. But it's going to be a constant theme, me saying that, because I respect the GM. I like the way he actually kept people around. I liked how he was doing that, how he was keeping guys like Roland Cook around. I think Roland Cook. Where is Roland Cook? Is he out of there this year?
I was just trying to look him up. I didn't see him. I couldn't remember his first name off the top of my head. It's not good memory tonight. Smoked a little too much, I guess.
He retired. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah. So
He's
Hall of
first
Fame
ballot.
pitcher.
Easy.
Yep. Um, one franchise.
That's impressive.
At, yeah, and that type of loyalty goes deep, and it really helps with the fabric of what you do. And
Yeah, this is what Nick Henton should look like.
yeah,
Should have looked like.
yeah. Well, there's one team, and when did he fall off? Like 2 years ago, whatever.
We've
Not
talked
even last
we've
season.
talked about it though. This league's had more superstars move than what's standard for like a major league, right? Because like BJ Swart, for example, Reyna,
Yeah.
all these guys, Eaton, like these are all.
But a thing that's interesting that I've been seeing when I think about, I haven't even said this out loud, but I see it with some of these prospects, is that with the 5 years of service time required to go to free agency, it makes the decision time a lot sooner. So a lot of these guys, some of these guys are prospects. I see them in their second and a half, third year, and they just haven't found it yet. But
Yeah.
you know they're going to be all right, you think, based on their potential. And it puts a lot of GMs in a precarious position. Do you trade the guy? Do you re-sign him and do something else? Do you sign him to too much money? You can make a lot of mistakes on a player a lot sooner because of the service time rules.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, that's the whole purpose of the 5-year service time is to
Well, let's
make
be
you
real.
make.
In the universe of Major League Baseball, that's crazy what they still have right now. Just as in this era of of the country.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and we
It is
talked
a little
about
antiquated.
college and NIL and just being able to embrace free enterprise. Like 7 years of control is a crazy amount of time for an athlete to be controlled before free agency. So
Yep.
5 years is fine.
Yep. This team actually has really good defense so far throughout the year. Kind of point that out. I think that's purposeful. I think JP's kind of, if you're going to suck, put some good defenders out there. These guys are like, double A hitters. And that's why his team is bad. But at least it helps you, I think, develop the pitching.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to be competitive, put out a good defensive unit. Hopefully one of these pitchers devs up because he had a good year.
Well, I don't know who the hell's gonna dev up. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's some bad ones out here. I mean, Bubba White's kind of liked by OSA. He's had 2 pretty rough years.
Yeah. My scout doesn't like him, but I mean, he's not in love with him. But
None of them are top end talent. No
not.
Roland Cooks here.
I will tell you right now, and I hate to say this about anybody's, this is maybe the worst. My AAA pitching staff is better than this Boston Beacon's TBL pitching staff.
Yeah. Well, I think the tank's on for sure. I don't think
Yeah.
JP's trying to compete this season. I'm pretty sure he's intentionally losing without breaking rules, of course.
Yeah, and he's got guys on the way. So, we say that, but he's also making sure that
We didn't
a lot
talk
of
about that.
his starting pitching is, is cooking, is marinating, well
Yep.
cooked. In the minor leagues, he's just not going to bring these guys up because they're the best guys. You gotta, because they're going to get killed. But I think he understands the structure of the TBL. We just talked about like the CBA. I think that it's just a matter. I'm pretty bullish on what I'm seeing. Actually,
Oh,
think
100%.
a lot of
Look at
things
his
going
system. It's a monster.
Yeah.
He's got 9 top 100 prospects. He's got 30 top 500 prospects, 66 on this chart overall. He's got a bunch of guys just sitting, like you said, marinating in AAA. He's got all 3 pitchers, 4 pitchers in AAA that all are
like a bunch of them.
top 150
We'll probably
prospects.
bring those guys up to the show when they're going to just get destroyed.
Yep.
Let them take their lumps in AAA, bring them up at the same time under control, or whatever, and then you go. none of these guys are ready. I mean, this guy Kyle McQuaid looks amazing.
We could talk. We could be talking about this as a playoff team next year. I think like that soon, or maybe 2 years to be certain. But I think they could be competitive next year.
If I had to compare them to, because I want to play a comparison game of where they can be in 2 years. I think they could be a New York Light, like not completely. No, let me correct that. Carolina Light, like it's tough because they have a lot of pitching. I don't see
this team has this team has a better foundation than Carolina or Philly or Montreal. They have a fan base somehow.
So?
I mean, the fan interest is 63. They have an above average market, above average fan loyalty, which
That's
is
the thing, right?
It is. It's important. So when the success starts to come, it's going to be a little easier to sustain.
Well, go back to his market, and because I want to see. I didn't catch that on another screen.
Oops.
But that above average, that's what happens in his 63 fan interest. Well, they're happy, they're loyal, and they're like, all right, you spent the money on the players we like, even though they're shitty. You know, we're not gonna hold it against you. And the fan interest is real low. You can start winning instantly, and this becomes a popping market.
Yeah, I mean this is what happens when you keep a guy like Roland Cook forever, or sign probably Bill Marshado's.
Yeah, because it's not the greatest history over the last decade.
Yeah.
Right, and we're seeing that their market size and fan loyalty have not suffered.
Yep. At least not to the extent of others compared to their resume, because their resume, they've only been to the playoffs 9 times. It's definitely not a super successful franchise, and it's been a gap, like we showed earlier. So, let's take a look at the pipeline just one more time. Or I think that's good. I think this team, of the bottom 4, we talked about a top and a bottom, is the brightest future, and I think the Sapphire of the 4 divisions we've looked at is the toughest, going to be the toughest in the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, Steve too, apparently. So,
well, Steve's trying to get out now. Steve's like, he's winning 90 games a year. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
I will say again, if Steve is listening, I would put that in the proposals page, and if we are still running this league as we roll over and out of the Park 27, I think it would be something to look at doing. So, all right, let's rank them.
Yep.
Are you gonna finish first? Do you want me to start?
No, I don't think I am.
All right, I'll start. I got you finishing first. I've got New York second. I've got Baltimore third and Carolina fourth. And then actually, I don't know. I think I have Philly fourth. I have Carolina taking a sophomore slump, taking a year back. So Philly 4, Carolina 5. I'll take Montreal 6, Toronto 7, and then Boston 8.
I'm gonna go New York first. I think their pitching is gonna overwhelm everybody. I got my team second, Baltimore third. I have Carolina fourth. I have Montreal fifth. I think I'm gonna get hot. Philly sixth, Toronto seventh, Boston eighth.
All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
We got through it, and we might have broken the record that Larry and I set for longest podcast, just in 3 separate pieces.
Yeah.
We definitely talked a lot about these teams.
Definitely, and I'm down to talk, like in mid-season or whatever it may be, about the league as well, because there's some stories that have kind of transpired and things that are happening around the league since we've dived into the Ruby, the Topaz, and the Jade.
For sure.
And I definitely want to talk about. We could talk. I could go on. I could talk a lot about what's going on in the Topaz, because Kansas City and Virginia, where I thought they would be after division play.
It's very even over
And
there. Yeah.
very even. Anything can happen over there, I think. And I think it's more chalk in the Ruby, but it's Mexico City's creeping. They got a good pitching staff. Can't maybe it's one of those years where they put it together. And then Las Vegas in a Jade. I think they can go either way. I think they could really fall apart because of their pitching injuries and how fragile they truly are.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned the Dragons, who were GM-less to start the season, but are somehow 31-17 in the Jade.
Yeah, Dragons are on an 8-game heater right now, and I don't know how they're truly doing it. It seems like run prevention and defense. But,
Defense, for sure.
Yeah, it tells it. The catcher is the guy I was looking at earlier. This guy is a polarizing guy. The catcher in Durham he's a 1-WAR catcher, basically hitting 160 with 6 homers.
He's 1 WAR right now, on pace for 3. So
yeah, look, he's an a-hole, and he's just he's such a good piece for the team this year. It's just funny to watch how he does things.
162 average, but a 337 OBP. He's walked 33 times.
Yeah.
41 games.
It's interesting to see what they're doing. They're off to such a hot start. I don't think they can keep it up. I still expect Vegas to get hot, but it's something. Well, a lot of stories going around. My Cats have Dilworth out for 7 weeks or 7 weeks or something. So they're hot, and then they just had a big injury to their best hitter.
I was going to say the Dragons have the #1 bullpen ERA. I don't think that's going to sustain. They don't really have anybody in the bullpen. So
it's funny how the AI was just aggressive signing that dude Efaw and just signing pitching, and it's panning out right now. Good stuff.
Yeah, throwing a save down. The game was lagging. I don't want to crash here, but yeah, for sure.
Chatter.
Nice. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna call it a night here. So, as always, it was fun.
Yes.
Thanks for the breakdown, and we'll see how the season plays out. Hopefully, we were close this year after doing our first podcast of having a Somerville Oahu championship. Would have been really great. So I wish you best of luck this year, and hopefully to see you in the championship.
No, yeah. It'd be good to see Oahu in a championship.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just because I think that we destroyed.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fun to learn everybody's teams when you do these things, and there's some situations that I did not really know about or think about that have me rooting for some GMs to succeed. So good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully everybody enjoyed this. If anybody else ever wants to hop on a podcast, more than welcome to. Any other kind of contribution you throw in, Slack is always appreciated. The one thing I would ask, if you've listened to this all the way to the end, talk in general chat when you get a chance, because it sucks when it gets quiet. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the league, and thanks again all for making it a good time.
Thank you, Paul. I think on behalf of everybody, thank you as well for doing what you do. And we should get together for some quick podcasts on the state of the league.
Not the 7-hour, 8-hour version. Maybe
30
30-minute check-ins.
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
That was always kind of the vision. I wish someone else would pick it up, but just literally, we break into weeks, right? 3-week segments. At the end of every week, someone just do a 30 to 45 minute chatter. I think that'd be cool.
The league's interesting, which is the good thing. So, I could talk about somebody else's team, with the same, not the same, but with a lot of the same enthusiasm. I talk about my own team, but you know, it's enthusiastic. You know, it's something where I like how the league is maturing, and it's looking good.
Yep. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Until next time.